And as I was saying, the world, we had a little bit of a glitch. Suddenly, my computer screen just went out, which hopefully that will not continue. And so the GCW results are as follows. We have the kickoff show, which was the Pabst Blue Ribbon Kickoff Battle Royale. The participants being Psycho Clown, Dark Sheik, Cole Radrick, Pero Hoodfoot, Mo Atlas, Ruckus, KTB, Juicy Fanau, Too Hot, Steve Scott, Spider, Nate Webb, Big Vin, Brandon Kirk, Jenai Kai, Dustin Thomas, Marcus Matthews, Yoya, Charles Mason, B-Boy, Lefisto, and Thunder Rosa. So I just said that. Okay. Anyway, Big Vin won the Battle Royale, and his father, ECW star 911, walked out to ringside to celebrate with them. Then we had the Pabst Blue Ribbon Scramble match. The Grim Reaper versus Shane Mercer versus Dante Leon versus Jack Cartwheel versus Ninja Mac versus Alex Zane. The legendary ECW announcer Steven DeAngelis did the introductions for this match. Grim Reaper won the match after hitting Mercer with the DDT on a steel chair. After the match, Brett Lauderdale talked about the shows in cities like Chicago and Los Angeles and Atlantic City. He also said they plan on selling out Dallas. Lauderdale said he was delivering Chinese food and pizza when he started GCW. He thanked the fans who have been there from the beginning and said that things were rough in 2020 because of the pandemic. Lauderdale said people have told him that GCW would never last, and he took it as an insult. He put over Ali Ketch as the toughest bitch in wrestling. He said Effie is our guy, and he wants to make wrestling as gay as possible. And there's only one GCW going live on pay-per-view. Dixon then grabbed the mic to get the crowd pumped up. He said he's coming back during spring break weekend, and he thanked everyone who picked him up when he was down. Lauderdale took a second to remember the people who are no longer with us. Then we had the main card. The first one, the grab, the brass ring ladder match. Winner can name match of their choice at any time against anyone. PCO versus Tony Deppen versus Alex Colon versus Jimmy Lloyd versus Jordan Oliver versus G Raver versus AJ Gray. Extreme Champion AJ Gray was a late addition to the match. Ladders were brought in to start the match. Deppen was the first to climb the ladder, but he was pulled off by Gray. Deppen took a powerbomb onto the ladder from Gray. Gray followed up with the lariat. Gray went to climb the ladder. G Raver knocked him off. Raver topped the smaller ladder to PCO, but PCO recovered and he hit a doomsday device with the ladder in hand as Raver was positioned on Colon's shoulders. Everyone did dives to the floor, including one from PCO through the ropes on the rest of the competitors. Deppen did a crazy double springboard dive off the top rope onto everyone at the ringside. G Raver sandwiched Colin, but he slipped and crashed on the top turnbuckle. John Wayne Murdoch took out Colin at ringside as Gray climbed the ladder and grabbed the brass ring. So the winner was Gray. I did cut that up a little bit because, we're only going to give the results as much as I can. Team Bandito, ASF, and Bandito and the Laredo Kid versus Team Gringo, Arez and Demonic Flametta, and Gringo Loco. And so Arez and Loretta Kid started the match. Then Bandigo tagged in and he hit the Three Amigos as a tribute to Eddie Guerrero. There's a cool spot. He saw Gringo Loco doing a dive over the top as Laredo Kid and ASF were put in a surfboard move outside of the ring. So then everyone else jumped in to set up a chicken fight, and ASF hit a sunset powerbomb Too crazy to describe. ASF was also launched for the ring to the floor into her Corona. Bandito also did a twisting springboard dive in the competitor's floor. Beretta Kid did a Spanish fly to Erez. They took them to the floor. Gringo Loco won the match with a cradle pile driver on ASF. Really good match. Then, in kind of a surprise, in my mind anyway, we had Leah Rush versus Blake Christian. Christian told the fans that Jonathan Gresham is not here, but he wanted to fight someone at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Leah Rush was announced as Gresham's replacement. No word on why Gresham did not appear. Christian hit the first offensive move with a kick to the head that knocked Rush out of the ring. Rush caught Christian with a kick, knocked him out, and Christian pinned Rush to win the match. So this is kind of weird that they brought in Rush with everything going on, because with Rush being not wanting to do his job, which is go and work at AEW, or because he said what he said, he's no longer being allowed to do his job for whatever reason. Anyway, like, I think that it's kind of weird that would happen, but I'm guessing that they wanted to make sure that I know AEW is clearly helping out with this event, and they brought a lot of their guys in to help out, and that's a good thing. But I just thought it was very interesting. Clearly, Rush is not involved with the company anymore. He's already put out for his dates, so who knows? And apparently, he must have a really small contract, like maybe it seems like maybe 3 months. Then we had Matt Cardona with Chelsea Green versus Joey Janela. Cardona made his entrance to Enter Sandman by Metallica. There was tons of heat for Cardona and Green. Cardona referred to the GCW universe and said his mom and dad were there, so he can't be booed. He called the fans the wrestlers in the back and Brett Lauderdale ungrateful because he and Green are the reason why the Hammerstein Ballroom is sold out. Cardona promised to end Janela's career before Tony Khan can fire him. Corona started the match with a Rough Rider into a pin attempt. He followed up with punches to the head. Janela recovered and did a Death Valley driver on Cardona through a door in the corner of the ring. Later in the match, Green hit Cardona with a low blow, but it was a swerve because Cardona was wearing a cup, and it was just to lure Janela so she could trip him up on the top rope. Cardona then kicked a chair in Janela's face in the corner. Janela recovered and hit a superplex off the top rope, and Janela followed up with an offensive flurry. So, and the lights went out, a whistle was heard, and Bill Alfonso and Sabu to help out to take the fourth. Oh, hold on. Oh, I'd heard about this. So this basically ended in a large, where everybody came in. Cardona hit a Death Valley driver through a chair. Janela kicked out of the pin attempt, brought more doors into the match, but Janela recovered the time to hit Cardona with a chair. Back, Green hit Janela with cane shots to the body. Janela fought back by hitting Green with a pile driver. Someone in riot gear speared Janela through a door in the corner. The mystery man was Brian Myers. Cardona hit the Rough Rider through a door on Janela. He pinned him to win the match. Fans threw stuff into the ring. Sean Waltman came out to the DX theme, and he took out Myers and Cardona. Mance Warner walked out to give a speech, but he was interrupted by Atticus Cogger. Cogger said 440 are the real outlaws of GCW. Warner and Cogger fought in the ring. Matthew Justice ran out to help Warner. More 440 members jumped in to attack Warner and Justice. And I've heard that a lot of people didn't like this. It was just too much stuff that all happened. Then we had Ruby Soho versus Ali Ketch. They started off going back and forth on a fence until Ali drove Soho into the middle turnbuckle in her knees. Ali hit a cannonball into the corner in Soho before trying to pin attempt. Ali hit a release German suplex, but Soho blocked a kick to the head and she hit a suplex. Sorry. Ali went for a move off the top, but Soho caught her with an arm drag and kick to the head. Soho drove Ali with her head into the canvas. Soho got angry with the referee at third failed pin attempt. So missed a double stomp. Ali hit a kick to the head and a pile driver, but Rojo kicked out of the pin. Ali tried a superplex off the top, but Soho slipped out. Soho pulled Ali off the top rope and nailed her with a kick to the head. The fans were not happy that Ali lost. Both women hugged after the match. Then they had Jeff Jarrett versus F.A. The match started with F.A. pulling a $20 bill out of his tights and telling Jarrett to take it so he can get out of the match. Jarrett declined. They locked up, and Jarrett shoved F.A. into the ring corner. Jarrett took issue with F.A. playing mind games. F.A. took over on offense with shots to the body. F.A. grinded his hips on the top of Jarrett's neck before putting him in a variation of the tarantula and the ropes. Jarrett tossed F.A. out of the ring and then whipped him with a belt. Jarrett threw him into a ring attendant at ringside and continued with the belt shots to the back. Back in the ring, Jarrett continued the attack with the belt. Jarrett tied F.A.'s hands to the turnbuckle so he could beat him with a chair, but F.A. freed himself before Jarrett could connect with the chair. F.A. hit a flurry of offense and he whipped Jarrett with the belt. F.A. tried to blockbuster off the top, but Jarrett moved. F.A. hit a low blow and then used the fishnets around Jarrett's face. F.A. then went to use the guitar, but Jarrett fought back, hit the guitar shot, and the stroke finisher. Jarrett pinned him to win the match. F.A.'s nose busted. They were also not happy about that. Fans chanted, "Fuck Billy Ray." Oh. I usually don't swear. Sorry about that. They traded punches, and Mox knocked Homicide down with an elbow. Mox also knocked him down in the ring apron. The match spilled to the ringside. Back in the ring, Mox tried to break Homicide's fingers, and he hit a pile driver. Moxley hit kicks to the body. Homicide fought back with a pair of exploder suplexes and dived through the ropes on a Mox. At ringside, Homicide hit a cutter off the middle rope and then a pin attempt. Mox slipped out of the cop killer attempt, and they traded elbows to the head. Mox hit a German suplex, but Homicide no-sold it as his own German suplex. Mox hit the double arm DDT, but Homicide kicked out of the pen attempt. Mox hit elbow to the head. Mox hit the double arm DDT. Mox hit the clothesline, another DDT through a chair. This was enough for him to win the match. They were probably also not happy about that at that point. So then the Briscoes had their open challenge. Matt Tremont's music played and he walked out of the ring. Tremont took some doors out from under the ring. Dewey Donovan appeared on the stage to lead Nick Gage out to the ring. The match started with Gage spearing Mark through a door in the corner of the ring. Oh man, they're not gonna like. Ew. Anyway, Jay and Tremont fought each other with chairs. Matt and Gage beat each other with pieces of door, and Donovan brought a pizza cutter into the match as Jay launched a chair into Gage's face. Mark hit Gage with an elbow off the top through the door in the ring. Martin tossed the chair in Tremont's face, and then they traded punches. Tremont caught Jay and slammed him. Tremont hit a pile driver on Mark off the middle rope and through a door. Nick pinned Jay to win the titles. It was a quick match, and a finish caught fans by surprise because Jay popped up during the pin. They might have had to cut the match short because of time restrictions of the pay-per-view. So apparently Nick Gage ended up taking the Briscoes championship, which is a little surprising. So basically, except for like that was in, indie guys won that one. But one thing that a lot of people complained about is that the indie guys did not win most of these matches. So a lot of people were not super happy about that. And I can imagine that for sure. Okay, so that's what happened in GCW. And then, of course, we had, before that, of course, we had Rampage. And so I'm going to get the AEW Rampage results. And I just need a little refresher because I actually do watch these matches. So most of these I'm not having to look. By the way, that was all from Wrestling News, just to let everybody know. I want to give everybody the proper credit when we're getting our results. So I'm using Bleacher Report to kind of remind me, but I did see it, so it won't be quite as rote. And also, you can tune in. Definitely check later tonight, and we will have the Elevation Dark results. So if you want to find out what the Elevation Dark results are, check on Gaming Fit on the Gaming Fix channel, right where we broadcast, and you'll find that information. All right, so we had. So first we had Jon Moxley versus Ethan Page. And Moxley received a hero's welcome as he entered the ring for the opening match against Page. Someone said something really rude, so Mox basically told them where to go and told the guards to take him there. But Mox was on the ropes and was really selling a lot for Page. And they fought at ringside until Mox was able to regain control by sending Page into the turnbuckle. Dan Lambert's pet project kicked Moxley's knees as he tried to get back in the ring. He kept the former world champion on defense for quite some time. As he controlled the pace through the commercial break, Mox turned things around and then returned to hit a pair of German suplexes. Page countered a third, but Moxley hit it eventually. After a few more exchanges, Moxley chokes Page out to win a match by submission. And as he was walking to the back, Bryan Danielson gave him this big grin and started clapping for him. So it's a good possibility that will be the next match. And I think that'll be really good to see Mox versus Danielson. I think because Danielson is improved. Wow. Because Mox has improved greatly since last he was against Danielson as Dean Ambrose. So I think it should be a pretty good match to watch. And then we had Trent Beretta versus Nick Jackson because for whatever reason, Rocky Romero wasn't available, so they didn't have the match be the Bucks versus Ponky Vice. And if I mispronounce that, I'm sorry. Trent and Nick both had their respective groups at ringside for support during the singles match. Matt and Brandon looked more worried about their outfits than anything else. Nick took control early with a Hurricane, but Trent used his slight size advantage to put him in the corner for a few body shots. Trent went for a running crossbody, but ended up hitting the ropes when Nick avoided the impact. So we returned to see Trent block a senton with his knees. Nick used the ref as a shield so he could trick Trent and hit a German suplex, but Trent came right back with his own German suplex a second later. Nick hit a series of high impacts. And then, of course, you had Orange in the corner, and there was some monkey business between him and Matt. Jackson. So it's pretty interesting. Then we had Hook versus Serpentico, and man, Hook can go every time I see him in the ring. It's shocking. But this time, so Serpentico did that thing where he throws the streamers out of his hands, and Hook took major issue with this, and right off the bat, put him in a Hook bum rushed him, took him down hard. Then the bell was called, and Hook began throwing the masked man around like a rag doll. He locked him into a submission, but Serpentico got to the ropes. Hook quickly grabbed him, threw him overhead before locking him in the red rum for the win. And then QT Marshall came out and talked some trash until Hook suplexed him and walked away. And he just suplexed him and just and walked over the body. I thought it was really crazy. It was really good. Then we had Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay as the main event, and she had her first title defense in the main event of this week's show against the Dark Order's Anna Jay. The champ flexed at her opponent, getting inside her head as they squared off and locked up. Cargill put her in a headlock and knocked her down for a shoulder tackle. Jay hit the lawbreaker, but her attempt at a crossbody was turned into a fallaway slam by the powerhouse. Jay rolled her up for a 2 count before Cargill laid her out with a clothesline. Jade continued to dominate most of the action through the commercial break, but Jay was able to mount the comeback. When we returned, Jay countered a submission, but the damage had been done. Number 99 started to build up a head of steam, but a distraction from Mark Sterling allowed Jade to recover. The champ drilled the challenger with a pump kick. Jay countered Cargill's finisher and applied the Queen Slayer, but Cargill stood up and backed her to the corner to show power. Cargill broke her grip and picked her up for a huge slam before she hit her finisher for the pin to retain the TBS championship. So basically, she's been having Cargill in the analysis that Cargill's been having squash matches, but her past few encounters have all been 10 minutes or more, and she's finally getting to show more of her skills. So she's really green, I think, and I think hopefully she'll get some more fighting. I'm hoping. So we'll see that. And now to talk about SmackDown, which I did not see, so I'm just gonna try and go through it as much as I can. And in some cases, I'll probably be like, "Wow, that really happened. That's terrible," but I didn't know. So results. Okay, this was 3 days ago. Yeah. This one's from CBS. And I'm going to try and rewrite that. There we go. All right. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins make a wager. The show opened with Jimmy J. Uso praising Reigns in his record-setting run as WWE Universal Champion. Rollins cut the celebration short, remarking that Reigns owed his success to the Usos in the same way the Shield served as Reigns' pedestal. Notably, Rollins referred to their Shield alum Dean Ambrose as Mox. Ambrose goes by John Moxley in AEW. So I don't know what he said exactly, but Rollins challenged Reigns to a wager. If Rollins and a partner of his choosing beat the Usos on SmackDown, the twins will be barred from Reigns versus Rollins at the Royal Rumble. The Usos accepted the challenge before Reigns could reply, arguing that no one could team with Rollins. Cue Sir Freakin's best friend from Raw, Kevin Owens. Reigns added his clause that should Jimmy and Jay beat Rollins and Owens, Rollins would abandon his claim to challenge Reigns for the Universal Championship at the upcoming pay-per-view. Halfway through the program, Rollins told Kayla Braxton how the rewards of beating the Usos tonight outweighed the risks. After all, Rollins has beaten Reigns in every one-on-one championship encounter to date. Then Rollins and Kevin Owens defeated the Usos via disqualification. After Reigns popped Rollins with a Superman punch, Rollins led the crowd in chanting his song before and during the match, and his high-flying offense popped the Nashville fans. Momentum swung back and forth. Key spots included the pop-up Samoan drop from the Usos and the Fisherman Buster delivered by Kevin Owens off the top rope. Likely match-ending stomp was intercepted by Reigns, and the Universal Champion slid into the ring and clocked Rollins with a Superman punch. The Act won Rollins the wager, but it was done on Reigns' terms. Rollins and Reigns are doing a great job building the Royal Rumble with a limited time. What else happened on SmackDown? Okay, so that was the main event. But then we had Kofi Kingston defeating Madcap Moss versus Pinfall. And I got to say, Madcap Moss is probably the best version that we've had of Riddick Moss. So I'm glad that they're able to do something with him, I guess. With King Woods out injured, Kingston enlisted New Day buddy Big E to counteract Happy Corbin's shenanigans. Post-match, Big E delivered a big ending to Moss. Aliyah defeated Natalia via disqualification after Natalya stomped an endless mud hole into her opponent. Much was made pre-match of Aliyah's record-setting sub-4 second win over Natalya. Last week, Summer Rae was spotted in the crowd, and Xia Li rushed to make the save after the DQ. The Viking Raiders defeated Los Lotharios after telling Alberto. After felling Alberto with the Viking experience. Charlotte Flair defeated Naomi via submission. After last-minute special referee Sonya Deville pulled the Nashville screw job, first Deville exited the ring to avoid counting a 6-second long pinfall for Naomi. She subsequently rang the bell before Naomi could tap to the figure 8. Leg lock later in the show, Eric Bischoff made a surprise appearance, conferring with Adam Pearce. Deville was informed that she will likely face Naomi one-on-one as a consequence of interference in tonight's match. Sami Zayn delivered the Insane sequel, attempting to recreate Jackass star Knoxville's earliest stunt. Zayn tested a taser on himself, and Knoxville, who snatched the taser, saying it hadn't been turned on, and then stuck Zayn, sending him to the canvas. Knoxville concluded by tossing Zayn out of the ring prior to the Royal Rumble entry. Sheamus defeated Ricochet via pinfall after dropping him with a brogue kick. The Celtic Warrior was accompanied by Ridge Holland weeks after Ricochet broke Holland's nose. So that's what they think of Ricochet. So that tells you a lot in my mind. Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura met Jeff Jarrett backstage. Jarrett complimented Boogs on his mighty fine guitar playing. Some appropriate name spelling ensued. Of Jeff Jarrett, double J, Jeff J. Yeah, that stuff. So that's what happened on SmackDown. I don't think I missed anything. And now I'm actually broadcasting during Raw, but I'm still going to try and finish this. I think I probably decided to cover too much this week. I think I'm going to. This went too long. I don't know. But Yeah. Wow. Because right now we're probably about 45 minutes. Um. All right. Well, I'm going to. I guess now we're just going to go on to Impact. Got to find some Impact results. That's going to be harder. It's going to follow. I don't want to. Miss it, and so we're just gonna go. We're just gonna keep going, and I guess we'll see how long this is. So thanks for sticking with me, or to just keep watching the show. Here we go. So the January 20th episode of Impact Wrestling may have headlined by the showdown between Josh Alexander and returning Charlotte Haas, but as a framework for a rivalry between the company and the invading squad from Ring of Honor that stole headlines and created buzz in the closing moments. So, Tasha Steele versus Chelsea Green. Tasha Steele and Chelsea Green battled for the closing moments of Ultimate X at Hard to Kill, with the former securing the victory and title shot at Mickie James, the Knockout Championship. James joined Tom Hafen on commentary, while Stills and Green kicked off Thursday's show in singles competition. And the result was that Stills pinned Green. Then we had The Influence versus Decay. Prior to the match with Decay, the Influences Tennille Dashwood and Madison Rayne attacked Rosemary, rendering her unable to compete in the advertised tag match, and said Havoc represented her team against the Heels in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Rayne and Dashwood dominated the action, but found themselves in the grasp of the opponent late. Havoc's attempt comeback fell short as Rayne caught her with a cutter, and Dashwood put her down with the spotlight kick for the win. Influence defeated Havoc.
If you're not busy, steak, please.
VSK and Zicky Dice versus Morrissey. Brian Myers sat in the commentary as his students. Sometimes, and he's a great guy, so I'm not going to say anything about him. He's my roommate, and he wanted some steak, and he's getting steak right after this show. So I'll get him his steak. Don't worry about it. Mark will have his steak. It is broadcast right now, so everybody knows that. Brian sat in on the commentary of his two students, Zicky Dice and VSK, battled W. Morrissey in a 2-1 handicap match. Morrissey dominated, downing Dice and VSK down with a BQE powerbomb. After the match, Morrissey warned that he would track down Moose if the Impact World Champion wouldn't come to him. Backstage, Shot Morse stopped Morrissey and revealed the big man will challenge for the title at No Surrender. That's pretty cool. That Morrissey must be a big guy, I'm guessing. Then we had a Ring of Honor Championship match. Jonathan Gresham versus Steve Macklin. The Ring of Honor Championship was on the line as Jonathan Gresham defended Steve Macklin. Their match fought under pure rules. Macklin quickly spent 2 allotted rope breaks and issued warning after utilizing. That have been good. I know this is. You can watch these on Twitch, by the way. If you're wondering how you watch Impact, you could also get it on as an app, but it's like about $8 a month. So I decided I didn't really want to do that. But you can definitely watch it on Twitch. And so, this is a DQ because it didn't have a clear finish. Gresham defeated Macklin to retain his ROH championship. And then we had Joe Doring and Doc Gallows versus Rhino and Heath, which does make you wonder where the this arranged between Impact Tag Team Champions and Good Brothers and Violent by Design continued Thursday as Doc Gallows partnered with Joe Doring to battle Rhino and Heath. In a tag team action, Eric Young and Diener stood ringside. So the winner was Gallows, and Doring defeated Rhino and Heath. For lack of a better word, this has a whole lot of meh, I can imagine. Yeah, that could be a pretty meh segment. Then we had Charlie Haas versus Josh Alexander. Chris Sabin joined Hannafin at the commentary team for the showdown between Josh Alexander and Charlie Haas. They made up the night's main event. Early grappling gave way to Haas, targeting the left knee of Alexander. And at the end, Alexander defeated Haas. So thanks for coming, Charlie. And that was the main event. So that was Impact. Then we had Dynamite. And the winners on this, and I remember these matches because I was actually watching it. We had CM Punk. Well, first we had Jon Moxley returning. And he came back. Oh, that's right. That's when, I'm sorry, when I was wrong when I said that the fan picked on him on Rampage. He actually picked on him on Dynamite. But then Moxley came in, and then after that we had Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander versus Adam Cole and Dr. Britt Baker. And the rivalry between Orange Cassidy and Adam Cole intensified a week ago with the introduction of Chris Statlander and the AEW's Women's Champion Britt Baker. The result was that Cole and Baker defeated Cassidy and Statlander. There's a lot of back and forth. There were some rules where basically the men couldn't touch the women, but those rules were kind of broken a couple times by the heels. Because there were some cases where, like, Britt attacked Orange, and there was even a time when Statlander was going to attack Britt, and Cole got in the way. So it's those things that's happened. Then we had CM Punk versus Shawn Spears. This match was very fast. It was ridiculously fast. It was like mere seconds, an embarrassing moment for both the competitor and his friend. And then we had Cody Rhodes, who at the start was booed, and then he cut a promo where he quoted CM Punk's pipe bomb. A decade ago, he claimed to have created the Forbidden Door by following the path Punk laid out. In said promo, said Tony Khan sent him and Sammy Guerrero to a contract for the match to determine the TNT champion, and then by asking the Spanish God if he would accept. But he also said it wasn't the one he wanted. Not the contract that I wanted. Yeah, exactly. Then the Varsity Blondes versus Malachi Black and Brody King, which is now the Kings of the Black Throne. And they debuted. Pillman was scared, so he didn't want to fight. So he had to be convinced to fight by Griff Garrison, and then the House of Black defeated the Varsity Blondes. It was total squash match. Then a really weird one. We had Frankie Kazarian versus Lance Archer, and Archer, of course, defeated Kazarian. And then as they were going to do more damage, Page came out and also put him away with a blackout for the win. After the match, Archer interrupted the promo by Lambert, offering to send a visual message. He teased delivering another blackout. Some onto a steel chair. Page made the save, rocking Archer with his cowboy boot before trying for the buckshot lariat. Archer cut him off, but Page fought out of a choke and sent his top contender over the rope. So then we had Sky Blue versus Serena Deeb. This is another squash match. There was a couple squash matches going on in this one. It's weird. They kind of tend to, I don't know, like they'll use some of the same seasoning, which is kind of a little bit annoying to me, but at the same time, it's still better than the dronings on that are happening right now. So Deeb defeated Blue, and then she's just been really extraordinary. She just totally dominated the match. Then we had Sting and Darby Allin versus the Acclaimed, which was our match, our main event. And there was a couple times where it felt like because the Acclaimed originally eliminated Darby Allin, it looked like it was going to be a handicap between them and Sting. And then Allin came back, and Sting was going crazy, just totally doing everything that you wouldn't think he would be doing for his age. And then the result was Sting and Allin defeated the Acclaimed. And it was interesting. He fired up at the right time. And I thought maybe he was going to have a chance of winning, but he didn't. Then we had a weird vignette announcing the merger between Andrade and the Hardy family office. Suggests he and the Icon may find themselves targeted by private party, Butcher and Blade, or Hardy and El Idolo. So that was something that happened. And then on the other station, on NXT, we have and as far as the beach breakup lineup, we're gonna have a lights out match between Orange Cassidy and Adam Cole. We're gonna have a fight between Eddie Kingston, Chris Jericho and Santina and Ortiz versus 2.0 and their main partner, who I can't think of right now, even though he's been on over and over. I need to redo this. Oh, okay. So I guess it's not again. Can't get rid of this. Okay. Fuck. Pardon my French. Because I just didn't want to have a mistake. I'm trying to get the information. That's too old. All right. I'm just going to go with Forbes today. That's fine. All right. Okay. Grayson Waller got some serious heat by revealing he had filed restraining order against LA Knight. Fans even chanted, "Rip that expletive." Waller had to choose between LA Knight and Dexter Lumis, and he chose Lumis, which has, I feel like, somewhat of a slight on Dexter, who is supposed to be too terrifying to challenge. Braun Breaker may be the top guy in NXT, but Waller feels like its top prospect. He appeared on Raw, got an elusive match with AJ Styles. They wrote a restraining order storyline for him, and now he even has a big heater. The Creed brothers defeated Brooks and Jensen. I don't know who they are, but that's what happened. Duke Hudson destroys the Dante Chen. Tony D'Angelo's memorial service for Pete Dunne. So he's trying to get into Pete Dunne's head, I'm guessing. Ivy Nile defeated Kaylee Ray. Edris Enofe and Malik Black defeated Legado del Fantasma. Dakota Kai defeated Yulissa Leon. And then Walter defeated Roderick Strong. Vic Joseph kept building this matchup as a match we never thought we would see, as if Walter versus Roderick Strong was a dream match. The NXT region didn't sing along to Walter's theme as much as I thought they would. By this point in the show, the Diamond Mine theme song felt so played out, but it was great to see Malcolm Bivens get so much TV time. Walter didn't take long to endear himself as the crowd with a room-rocking chop and elicited chants of holy expletive. This match lived up to its forced potential. By the end of its fans were applauding in appreciation. Walter appeared to undergo a name change to Gunther. Let's hope this was just a one-time thing. Yes, because as some people know, it turns out that they were thinking of naming him Gunther Stark, which was a Nazi U-boat commander, and not exactly a great look. But hey, real quick, before one way that you can help us out, and man, I'll tell you, I feel like I need caffeine right now. I don't know. This ended up being so long, and I've been reading for a blot here. But if you go on to tpublic.com/store/gamingfix, you can help us out by getting some great curated t-shirts, and all the money goes back to us. Or you can get some of the t-shirts that say Gaming Fix on them, our normal logo, or the classic look, but all of it goes back and helps us out, and we appreciate it. Thanks for helping us out. Something that for now, we're going to go back to the right before now, and that is going to be Raw. And now I know that we cannot do this as a full thing. I think it's going to be interesting to see if this is even an hour. I think it's longer. We'll see. And that is So, WWE Raw results. And that's for 7 days ago. Oh no. Come on, CBS Sports, you can do it. I watched this, Matt. This is what's bad is like I watched all 3 hours of this, and yet I couldn't tell you everything because some of it felt like it was pretty good, but I don't know. Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins clash. Kevin Owens hosted Seth Rollins on the KO show. The first hour with Owens popping up Rollins' courage. Oh, I think I was watching something. That's right. Bobby Lashley defeated Seth Rollins via disqualification after interference by the Hurt Business. And so he, of course, paid them back for that. Also, Doudrop and Becky Lynch defeated Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan via pinfall. Kevin Owens defeated Damian Priest via pinfall. Then Chad Gable hosted an Alpha Academy graduation ceremony. Oh, that's right. Tonight, we're going to have the intelligence test or whatever and the weigh-in of Brock Lesnar. Then we had Nikki Ash defeating Rhea Ripley before their planned match. When Rhea was distracted by Queen Zelina and Carmella, Nikki took advantage to deliver a beating, resulting in the match never beginning. Then Almost, of course, defeated Reggie. Beth Phoenix refused Maurice's request to cancel the Royal Rumble and was met with a brick. Basically, Maurice hit her with her purse, and it was revealed that it was a brick. Then we had the Street Profits and the Mysterios defeating the Dirty Dogs. Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews when Montez hit Crews with a frog splash. And that was last Monday Night Raw. And now for predictions, I don't know. Let's say that Randy really has to pull it out for Matt as far as in the intelligence test. And the weigh-in, they're going to go fisticuffs with referees having to break them up. And let's say, I don't know, Doudrop and Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan. I don't know. Maybe they'll flip that around. And I don't know. I'll know what will happen. Maybe Finn Balor will challenge Austin Theory to the Royal Rumble. This is the go-home show. Hard to say what's going to happen. And you've seen some of it already because we're 30 minutes in. Thank you for your patience, and I hope that you enjoy the show. Like I said, our background broke, so we had technical difficulties, and I had to come back and finish. And it turned out that the show was way longer than I had thought. But thank you for tuning in, and I will be back at 4 p.m. Pacific, hopefully with a more streamlined show right here on YouTube. Thanks, everybody. Good night.